Imagine you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, or any trail for that matter, and it's noon, and you've drank half your water bottle, and you're feeling a little dizzy, a little nauseous, a little tired, a little fatigued, but hey, that's hiking, right? And you think, okay, I'm gonna push it on to the next shelter. It's only 2 hours away. I shouldn't have a problem with that. The next thing you know, an hour and a half later, you're unconscious in the dirt, nobody around you to help you, and you've just had a heat injury. We're gonna talk about 3 of those different types of injuries, plus one, right now. And hopefully this is going to help save your life, or maybe help you save the life of one of your family members, or even a fellow hiker that you come up. And I'm going to practice what I preached. I'm going to go sit down in the shade. Let's go. So hikers can have heat injuries, or heat injuries occurring, and not even know it. And that's what makes them really difficult. They're more worried about bears and snakes and poison ivy and storms and things of that. They're not thinking that they are on the verge of having a heat injury. They know they're fatigued, they know they're sweating a lot, but they're not thinking about heat injury and how that can actually be deadly. And if not deadly, can have long-term effects. And that's where number 4 comes in, that we'll talk about in just a minute. Hikers never know until it's too late that they're having a heat injury. The CDC says that there's over 700 people every year that die of heat injuries in the US. And heat injuries actually go underreported, because if somebody dies and they do take them to the coronary and they try to determine the cause of death, a lot of times it's linked to a coronary event. Well, that's what's happening because of the heat injury, but they don't attribute to the heat injury, and so they actually go underreported. Currently, we have a high heat index on the trail in Pennsylvania and Maryland area right now, and that is right where the hiker heat map, no pun intended, shows the hiker bubble going through right now. So there's a lot of folks out there that could be in danger. And of course, this won't be the only high heat index that's going to occur, because summer's just getting started. Heat cramps occur when you're sweating profusely, you're carrying that weight, you're losing electrolytes faster than you can keep them in your body. Heat cramps are the earliest sign that and they're a heat illness in and of, or injury in and of themselves, but they're the first signs that you are going to be in trouble if you don't do something about it. So some of the symptoms of we got out there, we've got painful muscle spasms, tight calves, your hamstrings are locking up, foot cramps, and abdominal cramps, hence the word heat cramp. So your body's just got these cramps, and that's because you're losing water, you're losing, more importantly, you're losing those electrolytes out there. So the treatment is, one, you need to stop hiking. That's hard for people to do, and that's what makes them so dangerous too, because people got that get there-itis attitude, right? I got to get to that shelter. I got to get to this point by such and such a time. And so they just keep on hiking. They keep on trying to push through it. So stop hiking, get into the shade. You got to drink a lot of copious amounts of water, and you got to get some electrolytes, particularly your sodium, back into your system. You got to eat some salty snacks, and you really need to rest until those symptoms resolve themselves. That's the treatment you can do to keep them from going to the next level out there. But they will go to the next level out there, and they're your first warning signs if you don't do something about them. And that next level is heat exhaustion. If you've gone this far, you're starting to be in distress and could get in trouble very quickly. So heavy sweating, a headache, nausea, dizziness, weakness, irritability, fatigue, elevated body temperature, pale, clammy skin, and decreased urine output. That sounds a lot like regular hiking, right? That's how a lot of us hike. And unfortunately, we are right there at the point of heat exhaustion when we're hiking like that. Now, here's what makes it dangerous, of course. Those symptoms, like I just said, mimic hiking fatigue. Many hikers, they say, I'm tired, I'm having an off day, I'll get to the shelter, I'll be okay once I get there. I'm going to save my water, right? I'm worried about the next water sources coming up. Those are actually the wrong responses at all. You need to treat yourself, or you need to be making sure your buddy hiking with you is getting treatment yesterday. So you need to stop hiking again immediately, get into shade, remove your extra clothing, whatever you can. I don't know if you need to get buck naked, but you need to get out of whatever heavy clothes. And a lot of people hike in You know, they hike in long sleeves and long pants because they're worried about bugs, they're worried about mosquitoes, they're worried about poison ivy, they're worried about sunburn. You need to get in the shade and get out of those things. You got to cool your body. You've got to drink plenty of water, and you've got to have those electrolytes in your system, and you got to get that rest. And here's the thing, if your symptoms don't get better within 30 minutes to an hour, you probably need to seek medical attention. If you stand back up and now you have the same symptoms, you need to seek medical attention. Get off the trail. You need to get in the AC somewhere. You got to get some water and electrolytes back in your system and take the rest of the day off as a minimum. And here's the really bad part about it is if you don't do all those things, the next thing up is heat stroke, and that could lead to death. We've already had several die across the country. Like I said, we had a couple die in Maryland. We've had die out in the Grand Canyon. I'm sure that I didn't have time to research the entire U.S., but we have had people already die this year, and that they're not the only ones that's going to die. So it is a real threat out there, and it's something that you have got to pay attention to. Heat stroke is one of the most serious illnesses that we have out there. It is not a wait and see situation. You've got to do something immediately about it. The CDC says that heat stroke can cause permanent disability and death if emergency treatment is delayed. So you have got to get help immediately. Your body temperature can rise to 106 degrees. And if you survive it, that can cause permanent damage. Symptoms are confusion, slurred speech, strange behavior, you're not sweating at all, hot skin, seizures, unconsciousness, death, very high body temperatures. So one of the biggest warning signs is an altered mental state. So if you see your buddy making poor choices, making mistakes that ordinarily he doesn't make out there, uh, he's just not himself or herself out there, then it's time. And particularly if you're looking at them and they're not sweating, they should be. There's no sweat on their forehead. There's no sweat coming off their arms. That is a sure sign that they are in the middle of heat stroke. Because if you quit, that's your body's way of cooling itself. If you quit sweating, it's a problem. So you've got to stop or get your buddy to stop. You got to get him cooled down, but it is an emergency. You need to immediately call 911. It's not where you need to try things first. You've got to get him. You got to get him or her help right away. And so, in the meantime, while you're waiting on somebody to get there to help you, you can cool them down by pouring hot or cold water on them. Making sure they're ingesting water. If you've got some electrolytes, giving them those electrolytes. If you're near a stream, get water bottles, cold water bottles, put them up under their armpits, maybe in their groin region, something that's near those arteries on the back of their neck to get them cooled down until help can get there. The goal is to get them cooled down now, not wait until help arrives. Now, the fourth kind out there that you may not have heard of, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm sure, as I do a lot of things when I try to pronounce them, and that is rhabdomyolysis. So rhabdomyolysis is a condition that's associated with heat stress. You may not actually be to the point of heat stroke yet, but it occurs when the muscle tissue breaks down and releases these harmful substances into the bloodstream. So that can damage your kidneys. That can become life-threatening. Of course, damaging your kidneys could be a long-term issue for you. If you get off trail and you notice that your urine is like tea-colored, then that's a problem. You could be in rhabdomyolysis and you need treatment. You need to get to the ER to be treated. You've got to get hydrated. You've got to get those electrolytes back in your system. Most hikers, they never think about rhabdomyolysis. A lot of people have never even heard of it. But you got to treat it exactly the same as you do heat stroke, and that is get 911 right away. 5 ways you can avoid becoming a statistic, avoid becoming these heat injuries. Start early, stop early. So if you need to hike with a headlamp to get in early while it's still cool, get out there and do that. Drink before you're thirsty. If you're already thirsty and then you start drinking, you have waited too late. Make sure that you have got electrolytes. Of course, you know from electrolytes from this channel, if you've watched it much at all, my favorite electrolyte, but any electrolyte is better than none, but you've got to get those back in your system. Know the warning signs that we've just went over of heat cramps, for heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and take action immediately if you hit any of those right there. And the biggest thing is be willing to stop. Be willing to get off on the trail, take that extra hour or two before it accelerates up the chain to something worse. Be willing to stop short for the day of what your goal is for that. Everybody, a lot of people want to do a 20, 24, 30-mile day. Don't worry about that. The trail is going to be there. If it takes you an extra week to get to Katahdin or get to Springer or get to the end of your hike, it's not worth your life, and it's not worth damaging your body permanently to do that. Listen to your body, listen to your partners, watch each other while you're out there. Getting off trail for a few hours is on your own locomotion is a whole lot better than being carried off the trail in a gurney. And it's a whole lot cheaper than having to go to the ER. So be proactive, do something about it from the very beginning. You've ever been out there on trail or anywhere working in the yard, and you've experienced any of those heat exhaustion, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, experience of a result of all those, and you've had rhabdomyolysis, leave a comment down below and tell us how that went for you and what the outcome was. It'd be really, really interested to hear about that. That may save somebody else's life out there on the trail reading your comments and how it went for you and what it did. Hey, if you got anything out of it, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Love to have those comments. Subscribe to the channel as always. Appreciate you, and we hope to see you out here.